What's up, people? I'm Alex.
And I'm Topsy.
And we're Sync the Beat Podcast.
Woo! We're back with another episode. Alex, how have you been?
Chill. I'm good. There's a lot happening. I'm tired.
Why are you tired?
There's just a lot happening in life in a good way.
Good things?
Yeah, good things, but also just like easing into things as well. Coming back to like previous jobs, moving on to new ones soon. Yeah, there's a lot happening behind the scenes, and especially the fact that I work from Mondays to Saturdays is not helpful. But we move and we juggle. We move and we juggle.
I mean, what you always used to say to me, girl, when are you going to rest?
Yeah. None of this is for leisure. Everything I do is literally for like my career. Like I'm even doing acting classes as well. So I have to fit that in my schedule on top of everything else I do. But yeah, here we are. Sunday's my only day off, but here we are filming. How are you?
I'm good. Things new really. Work is the same. Home is the same. Yeah, I'm just here plodding along. I'm actually not tired for once.
Wow.
I actually am well rested today.
Wow.
Look at that.
Did you go to work yesterday?
Huh?
Did you go work yesterday?
Yeah, I worked yesterday and then came home, had a quiet evening.
Wow.
I didn't sleep late, but I was at home.
Wow. Did anyone ask you to go out?
No.
Wow.
None of my friends hollered at me.
Well, to be fair, I feel like this was planned because you are busy from next week. You're going to Malta.
True.
So this is once out of 12 months.
No, but you know what? I think I've moved into a new era of just staying at home. I'm not really, like this summer, I wasn't really outside. I wasn't. I went to a couple events here and there, but it wasn't like back to back like previous years. I think you've been more outside this year than I have.
Every summer I'm outside. But every summer it's tricky, obviously, like with what I do for work, but I make a conscious effort to try and go outside. August is always a busy month though, because there's Black Pride and then there's Carnival, and then there's always stuff in between that, like birthdays and stuff.
Things,
yeah. July, August, I would say, is always a busy month. But I mean, as of next year, I won't be able to go to any of those. I'll be able to go to Black Pride, actually. I think I'll be back in August in the country. But for the rest of the summer, I won't actually have a summer. I'll just be working. So
it's okay. Booked and busy, yeah.
Booked and busy, but we move. We are here to do a deep dive, which is a different kind of format, but
yeah. So we've never really done an album deep dive before, but we're like, we're a music podcast. You know, let's really investigate people's bodies of work, really like look at track by track, look at the themes, and, you know, just see what artistry is about. So today we're going to be deep diving into Sade. So we decided to focus on her first album, Diamond Life. I mean, did you know much about Sade before this album?
No, I didn't. And not in a way that I didn't know who they were, because Sade is a they. Sade is just from her middle name, but it's a band. I've known who, but we'll say she because she's also Sade. I would say I've known who she was, but I never really did a dive into her work. I never really listened to any of her songs. I didn't even know that Smooth Operator was her song. I had no clue. It's a song that I've known for years that everyone should know. But I had no clue it was her and them. But again, it's not really my era. But then I guess other people will say, even though it's not your era, you should still know who Sade is.
Well, do you know what's crazy? So I was at my parents' house and I think my sister was controlling the speaker or whatever. And then she put just a Sade playlist and it was playing. And I was sitting there singing. I was like, wait, why am I singing along to this song? I don't even know who this is. And I was like, is this Sade? And she was like, yeah. Then the next song, oh, Sade again. Why am I singing along? And then a lot of people, their parents were playing this.
Yeah.
So they grew up listening to it. So yesterday I was playing it and then someone was like, oh, you're listening to Sade? I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, you know who Sade is?
That's
and they were like, yeah, I grew up listening to this in my house in the car. My dad would play the CDs. And I was like, mad.
Who said that?
One of my friends.
Which one?
You don't know them.
Oh, girl.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Them.
It's a boy. It's a boy.
So yeah, it's just interesting to like see that somebody who was so long ago, like this from the 80s. This is like the era of disco and jazz, and we've moved so far away
Not
from
even
that.
disco and jazz. It was more that the era of the 80s was very synth heavy. Very, very synth pop.
Neon.
A lot of that, because at the time there was Eurythmics. Eurythmics were massive then. Phil Collins was at that time, but he wasn't really synthy. But he kind of was like the 80s. You know, the 80s big ballads like Bonnie Tyler, Total Eclipse of the Heart, all of those. That was the era of it. And so she kind of, do you know what Sade's debut album sort of reminds me of coming out during that time? It reminds me of 2011 when EDM was massive with Calvin Harris and Jax Jones and David Guetta.
Them
and then Beyonce dropped 4 because she didn't want to conform to the EDM electronic era.
Because remember, all the R&B artists also started doing all this EDM house kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. Chris Brown did it.
Chris Brown,
Usher
Neo.
did it. Neo did it. They all hopped on to that time, and Beyonce said, I ain't doing this. So the fact that Sade kind of did that in an era where it was like that too, I think it's a testament to their artistry.
Because her music really slowed things down. When it was very like upbeat, up-tempo, she went, nah, I'm going to do the opposite.
Slowed things down.
Let's do a little bit of a history. So Sade herself, she's Nigerian and British. She's a mixed race. Actual first name is Helena.
Helen.
Fine. And then Sade is actually her middle name. But I like that she's kind of gone by her Yoruba name.
What was it? Fola Sade?
Fola Sade. Fola Sade Adu.
She moved here when she was 4.
She grew up in Essex. What? Colchester. And then man there. She had a brief stint as a model and as a fashion designer. And then she decided to go into music. She was a backing vocalist for the British band Pride.
Never heard of them before.
Me neither. Clearly they didn't make it. They weren't very successful.
Well, there's no Wikipedia page about them. So a couple of them left, including Sade, who was the backing vocalist. And then they started making their own music. Yeah.
And then they formed the band Sade. And then they got signed. And then they released Diamond Life in 1984. So
the other members of the band are called Paul Denman, Andrew Hale, and Stuart Matthewman. But we don't really see them. They, as we said, Sade is the face and the name of the group. It's sort of like Maroon 5. We only know Adam.
Oh, that's true, actually. I couldn't name you a single other member.
Coldplay, I don't know. I just know Chris Martin. And I know there's the other guys. Maroon 5, I only know there's like 4 other guys with Adam.
So looking at the album, it actually did really well, both in the UK and internationally. It won Album of the Year at the Brits. It topped the Billboard 100. It went to the charts in a lot of other European countries as well. So, like, it was successful.
Yeah, it made 6 million. It sold 6 million copies worldwide, 4 times platinum in the US, and it made Sade the first Black British act to break huge internationally.
She's the best-selling debut female artist in the UK.
Was it at that time, or has that changed?
I think it might still hold the record, because it's debut, not the best ever selling female, the first debuted female artist.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Genre.
So to me, it's very jazz. I just hear jazz. I just hear saxophone, trumpets. Yeah, very jazz, very slow, smoky, sitting in like a bar, just, I can imagine music. At the time you've got your cigar, you're smoking indoors because that was allowed back then. And you just got like a nice cocktail G&T in your hand and you're just very like lethargic and lazy, like just taking in the ambience.
Yeah, I think it's soul.
Soul? I feel like this is what neo soul originated from.
Yeah. And I do think it's just a blend of soul, jazz, as you said. Drake calls it nighttime drive music, which I definitely see.
I'm not driving to this. I fall asleep.
But the first album or the rest of her albums?
Everything. The first album, I will fall asleep if I'm driving. Nighttime and I'm trying to keep my eyes open.
I'd like to know what people think, or like what Sade's music does to people. I've not actually asked anyone because a lot of people always reference her or sample her songs. Well, she's very protective about who uses her songs, but a lot of people always reference to Sade, and I want to know what stirs them so much. What is so magnetic about them?
I do like, I mean, everybody knows Smooth Operator. That's like the song that did the best from this album. And even still to this day, there's not really a song like it. It's catchy, even though it's so slow. He's a smooth operator.
It's very of the time. Very, very of the time. But it's still used in like pop culture today. Yeah, it's cute. It's cute. It's very... I can't put my finger on it. It's a word I'm looking for.
Different? Unique?
I think it's just very of the time. Very 80s. Like I'd hear it and I know it's an 80s song. It's very tongue-in-cheek. It's very red lipstick. I'm gonna kiss a man on his cheek. It's very... I'm a baddie of my time and you're taking me for a fool. You've got no heart, because that's basically what the song is talking about.
It's sultry, it's sensual. It's stripped back in the sense that there's not too much going on. It's just her vocals and the music. There's not like that's all it relies on. I like it. I think it's a good song. Now the other songs on the album, I don't know. They don't strike me as much as Smooth Operator does.
I mean, let's go back to when you said that was like the inventor of like neo soul for you. Why did you say that?
Because at the time, like we said, everything was very like synth, very neon, very upbeat, very bright. So this was a stark contrast. So now when we had like the modern day R&B, those that didn't want to do that wanted to kind of strip back and slow things down, they went for sort of the neo soul route, which I guess it stems from this, because neo soul is kind of R&B pop, but not. It's very stripped back. Neo soul is very like laid back. I don't know how to describe it.
Pop? I've never seen.
There are some neo soul artists that are pop.
Like who?
Who can I think of? Like Snow Allegra. I think she's pop. She's popular. Pop means popular.
I don't think she's popular though.
I think she's popular. So many people love her.
They love her, but I don't think she's popular.
I think she is. Maybe of our generation, everyone my age loves Snow Allegra.
But does that make her pop? Because she's not as big commercially as she is when people know her like underground. Unless I'm chatting shit. I don't know. But I don't really hear that much. Obviously, like, we're black, you know, we hear Snow Allegra, but I don't know how commercially big she is.
Oh, what, compared to the wider...
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Maybe I'm talking from my own bubble.
Like, she's very talented and she's very good. I just don't know how big commercially she is. Let's have a look. So her recent album that was out in 2021, Temporary Highs in Violet Skies, on US Billboard 200, 24, UK albums 77. Swedish 45, because I think she's like Swedish.
She's Swedish, yeah.
And Canadian albums 57. Do you see what I mean?
So she's not hitting the number ones.
That is how I see popular.
Okay, fair.
But then I guess we all have our definitions of popular. But yeah, I'd say she's neo soul, and obviously there's people here that have influence. So there's Maxwell, there's Erykah Badu, there's D'Angelo. I'd say even Solange's music is influenced. I don't think she's spoken about it. Alicia Keys has spoken about her too. Drake has a tattoo of Sade. Jessie J actually mentions her in her new song "Believe in Magic." Have you heard it? It's a nice song. It's a very smooth song.
I've been keeping up with Jessie J, but that is a powerhouse. That's a vocalist.
It's weird. Her career's kind of shifted. I don't know what she is now. I think she's just a vocalist more than an artist. She has been releasing music. None of it's been sticking.
She's a big songwriter though, so maybe she's been focusing on that.
Yeah, I want you to just hear the first, because it's in the first verse. If you type in "Believe in Magic" by Jessie J, and I remember hearing this, and I thought, there's so much emphasis on the way she sings Sade. What does Sade mean to you? Why has she affected you so much that you want to listen and make love to Sade? This is what people feel when they listen to her, which is so interesting. I don't know if you get that vibe when you listen to her.
Like I said, Sade to me is what you listen to if you want to slow down, you're just chilling. It's a summer's day, you're in the park with your friends, couple bevies, just listen to this. Yeah.
Background music, you're saying?
Yeah. Not in a mean way,
Okay.
but as in, yeah,
Ambience music.
Yeah.
Okay.
It creates like a slow, sultry ambience. I don't think that's a bad thing. Not everything has to be up tempo and on 100.
In your face.
Yeah. But this is very different to Bang Bang Into the Room.
I mean, that was years ago. I feel like this is more reminiscent of her Love era. She released an album, a 4-part album called Love, Liberation, something else. I don't know. It was just a hot mess in the way it was released, where people couldn't really latch onto the album as a whole because she released it at different time. Anyway, we're not talking about that because that's a different thing.
We'll do another deep dive into Jessie J.
That's a whole other deep dive because Jessie J's career, I feel like, was just sabotaged in a way where it should not have been this way.
But who sabotaged it?
I don't know. This is why we need to do a dive. But like what I'm saying is, like, you release the first album, it's a hit everywhere, but then your voice is so much more than the hits that you put out. If you debuted with this, I feel like she would have kind of been in the era of like Cleo Soul, and I feel like she's...
Yeah, but at the time though, Neo Soul wasn't popular. It was that bubblegum pop music. So I guess maybe now she's making the music she wants to make rather than what she's told to make. The transition, I feel like, was just too late. So do you think this is the authentic Jessie, and the Jessie we had before was just...
I think
popularity,
so, because she's a songwriter first. She was a songwriter first. Yeah, you can write big hits and stuff, but I feel like she's more connected to this kind of music because she often speaks about the greats that she listens to. She loves a bit of Whitney as well, do you know what I mean? So I just kind of imagine if you actually came out of music like this when you were still popping. It wouldn't have popped. Wouldn't have popped. That's the label, but then also you still could have found your niche. I mean, that's another discussion.
Your Love is King, I think that was the song that was the lead single from the album.
What do I think of Your Love is King? I think it's smooth. It's smooth. I think it's more R&B leaning. It's very jazzy, but I love her vocal take. I love the harmonies on it. I love the way she's layered it. Everything is just smooth. I think that's what I can just say overall from the album. It's smooth. So Your Love is King isn't very in your face, but I think at the time was very different to the point where it would have stood out. So people would have been like, what is this?
It's a smooth love song that you can make love to. The lyrics are literally, your love is king, crown you in my heart. Your love is king, never need to part. Touch the very part of me, it's making my soul sing. It's like poetry when you look at the lyrics. I'm crying out for more. Your love is king, you're the ruler of my heart. Like it's a love song. Look, I'm coming on. I'm coming, make me dance inside. Your love is king. We don't really have lyrics like this anymore. Like talking about making love, but in such a romantic way. It's just fuck that pussy, make me go. That's all they know now.
I think that's more just what we hear. I definitely think people do write like that.
I think people are a lot more explicit nowadays.
Oh yeah, yeah,
a lot more. Like
of course,
in this era, she never would have used the word like fuck me or like go deeper. Or do you get what I mean? But they're a lot more like abstract with what they're trying to say. But those that know get the meaning. And also, if you're a young person and you like the song, you can still sing it without it being obviously you're singing about sex.
Maybe if Sade was from a time like this, I don't know if maybe she would have said that as...
It would have been a bit more explicit.
Yeah, but more in a poetic way.
No,
explicit.
I think that's just the culture we're in. Like when I think about when people, like even, let's take Kalani Folded, I think it's still a love song. It's like a heartbreak song, but I think the lyrics are still quite explicit compared to the 80s, the 90s.
Oh yeah, no, of course, because the 80s and 90s there was still a lot of things that were illegal.
Censorship,
you know, and the way there was misogyny, there was gender stereotypes. Most of it is, I'd say, been erased. Well, it's still all there, don't get twisted.
But I guess this is what Jessie J meant when she was saying make love to Sade. Like these are the kind of songs that you want to make love to. Yeah, essential.
Fair enough.
Very different to nowadays. Oh, any other songs from the album that stand out to you?
Yes. Kiss of Life, actually. And it's one of her on Spotify. It's the third highest charting song of hers.
That's not from this.
Is it not from this album? Oh, shit. Then so,
we can
my
talk
bad.
about it though. One thing we did say before coming on, we said that Sade does have a lot of hits, but they're all spread out through her bodies of work. There's not one album that you can say, oh my God, this is like the best Sade album ever. Like, she just has a lot of good and iconic songs.
It came on shuffle when I was listening to her music. It came on after Diamond Life finished. Maybe that's why I thought Kiss of Life was on the album. My mistake. I think the reason... Okay. I don't think I identify sonically with Diamond Life as opposed to her later work. And I say that because as bold and as different as Diamond Life was, well, it came out in 1982. I was born in 95. So my concept of music understanding is slightly different as opposed to what it was back in the day. Like, my dad would play this. My neighbors play Sade a lot, actually. Sonically, it isn't something I would return to, the first album. But I would say Love Deluxe, that came out in 1982. That is basically our era. So I think I connect to that much more than Diamond Life. Kiss of Life is on there, which is the song that I originally thought was on Diamond Life. I think that's just a gorgeous song. I connected to it a lot. The harmonies on there, just the production, everything was just gorgeous. I think what I'm trying to say is their later work, I connect to more than Diamond Life.
Okay, fair. That's a fair point. So I think Sade has a really good legacy. I think her songs are going to be sampled for many, many a time to come. And I'm interested to see how it's going to be taken on board, because she's been sampled in hip hop. She's been sampled in rap. She's recently been sampled in Afrobeats with Rema. I think for someone's work to be so timeless, I think it's a shout out to her. It's a sentiment to her. Like, not many people have that longevity. Not many people can transcend decades. And she's not really, like, in recent years, we don't really hear much from her. She's just, I read online she bought a farm somewhere in, like, Gloucestershire. She keeps herself to herself. She doesn't really do interviews. She's not trying to tour. She's not trying to make a comeback. She's just let her music do the talking.
She's ambiguous, and she's always been like that. She's always been very mysterious, which I think alludes to the mystery of her songs. As you said, her music does do the talking. Would she have been bigger had there been less mystery about her life?
No. I think when people know too much about you, there's too much controversy, there's too much split opinions. Like, if we knew the intricate details of her life, if she was in the blogs, I don't think she would have as much of a legacy. I think because her legacy is her music. We don't really know anything about her. It's just the music. And I think as an artist, what more do you want? Because she clearly only wanted to be an artist. She didn't want to be a socialite or a famous person. Because I think nowadays a lot of modern musicians, we know too much about them. Like, I don't need to know who you're dating. I don't need to, like, you're a musician. You're not a philanthropist. You're not a public speaker. You're not a politician. I don't, like, from my musicians, I don't want to know your political views.
I guess there's two sides to it, innit? Like, I guess the music industry is either knowing so much about you unwillingly from what you decide to publicly display, a la Cardi B, or just being an artist.
But
and
again, Cardi B, her music doesn't speak for her. It's her, like, it's her memes. She's a meme.
I think she's a key. She's
always
an
in
absolute
court.
key.
She's always fighting someone on Twitter. Her and her baby daddy always going at it. When is it about her? She's more a personality than a musician. Her legacy is going to be her iconic moments in the media.
Not the music.
No, I mean, to be fair, Bodak Yellow, it did great.
Yeah.
It was the second She was the second Black female artist to win, was it Best Album after Lauryn Hill? For that her first album.
But it must have
yeah.
been.
So as in, like, I'm not saying she's not talented. I'm not saying she's not critically acclaimed. But what I'm saying is
she's no more for just...
Exactly. Her public stance overshadows her musical talent.
Yeah, this court case was a mess. Hilarious.
It was hilarious.
The memes were crazy. Like, hilarious.
The lawyer.
Big. She could move a building.
She went, look at her.
She's nuts, man.
Even if you as a jury member went in there and you were against her.
They were all laughing.
Yeah.
They were laughing throughout the whole court case. But then I also think your album is just about to drop. Am I the drama?
I mean, this is good promotion.
It's perfect promotion because this is the drama. But then also, girl, Sade would never be caught doing that.
At all.
You know? But I guess one thing that we can mention... that we do know about Sade is her trans son. Do you know about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Isaac. How can I explain it? She's allowed herself to speak publicly about her son's transition.
Oh, yeah, she's been very supportive.
She even released a song called Young Lion, where she was apologizing for like not realizing earlier and apologizing for her son being alone throughout discovering who they were. We wouldn't really get that back in the day with Sade, but I think the difference is with kids who are born from the millennial era onwards is we're much more open, and this is where the world has gone anyway. Everything is much more open and allowed. Back then it wouldn't be allowed.
I do feel like a lot of parents of Sade's generation, I think they're realizing that maybe thought processes I had in the past, I can apologize to my child and say, do you know what, I wasn't there for you at the time. Like, I've seen a lot of, like, Tony Tone has had, like, honest conversations about, like, her upbringing with her mom, and that's been made public. As African parents, normally they wouldn't apologize, but they're looking introspectively in that, okay, do you know what, I did my child dirty in that moment. So it's nice to see for somebody who doesn't speak out much, she's like, okay, on this topic that's affecting my child, I'm going to speak out on it.
So Pitchfork said in 1984, while British new romantics like Duran Duran and Spandau Ballet filled arenas with enormous synth pop, Sade became the minimalists, crafting quiet, vintage soul out of basic components. Their end product, Diamond Life, values brevity. The band had a weapon in lead singer Helen Folashade Adu, Sade for short, a modest contralto. I think she's more an alto than a contralto, but who am I? Who wore hoops with a classic red lip and moved in silence. I think that reflects the band very well, even to today. We still don't know much more about them, but they are quite minimalists and they do craft quietly. And their music is vintage soul. I think that's the best way to explain it.
Vintage. That's very keyword, vintage.
Vintage wine, vintage champagne, vintage cheese.
Vintage to me is like old school, but never really out of fashion. Like you can like people are like, oh, my vintage handbag. You can always rewear it. I like it.
Even their music videos are quite vintage as well. And I sent you an article actually of vintage videos being back in fashion.
But people have been like, even the 90s camcorder effect. A lot of people love to throw that in. I like it.
Well, my boy Faces, he has a career.
Style,
that's his aesthetic. Vintage VHS camcorder visuals, and it's I think it's so niche, but then it's also so popular to the fact that now that everyone does it, it doesn't feel as unique anymore.
I was gonna say even our intro is all vintage
inspired.
Our
intro is very vintage inspired, and I guess the reason behind that is because even if you look at our trailer, we're holding so many vintage vinyls, that my dad owned, and we grew up to vinyls. People, even though we're millennials, people do forget that was our era. Yeah, turntables.
Exactly. I was having this discussion with my friend yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, my dad wasn't a CD person; he was a vinyl person. Like we have loads of vinyls. We don't really have CDs. We have vinyls and tapes." in
I
our
don't have
house.
CDs.
Not really. Like the only CDs were what my mum bought of like her Christian songs.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, I think you know what? It was a good album. I'm glad we did the deep dive. It was nice to kind of look into the history of music. And
Educate.
sometimes it's nice to see where we are and where we came from. Yeah.
Mm.
Anyway, let us know your thoughts on Diamond Life. Let us know your thoughts on any of Sade's songs and albums. What you think. Did she inspire you? What you feel when you listen to her music?
When I was kind of listening to her, I was kind of thinking of another artist called Amber Mark. Do you know Amber Mark?
Mm-hmm.
Her voice is so much like the husky alto tone of like Sade, just like Snow Allegra. They're all kind of in the same realm for me personally, like sonically with their voices and their texture.
Okay,
Do
question.
you see what I mean?
So if you were to, say somebody said, oh, I really love Sade's vibe, but I want to listen to more modern artists who kind of emulate that same energy. Is that who you'd recommend?
Salt and Snow Allegra.
Okay, nice.
I would, yeah, Salt, Snow Allegra. I'd say at a stretch, she is quite different, but Liane La Havas, only because of her songwriting, I think is quite close to Sade in how poetic she is and her tone. Olivia Dean is more poppy nowadays, but she was also quite neo soul. Grace Carter, that's another artist. I don't know what Grace Carter is doing right now. Any males? D'Angelo, Maxwell, obviously.
So we've kind of reflected into the past. Now it's time to look at the present. So the other album we want to deep dive into is our good sis who's causing a lot of controversy right now, Sabrina Carpenter. But let's look a little bit about Sabrina Carpenter's origins. So did you know she originated on Disney Channel?
Mm-hmm. Girl Meets World.
Exactly. That was a little bit after my time, so I never really watched it, but my sister was quite into it, and I hear she did well on the show.
Disney Channel post-art era isn't what it used to be.
Yeah.
They don't really make big girls like that. Maybe Sabrina was like one of the last ones. Sabrina and Olivia Rodrigo were like one of the last ones.
Were they on that show together?
No.
What show was Olivia on?
Has musical to series.
Oh, got you.
But you also remember that Olivia and Sabrina had beef because of Joshua Bassett.
Oh, because they were both dating him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then that
Olivia released
driving license.
Driver's license, exactly. Mm-hmm. You're probably with that blonde girl. Like, she's talking about her. Anyway.
But anyway, her debut album was released in 2015. Eyes Wide Open, sorry. Will Be the Stars was the lead single. I mean, it was very Disney-esque. It was very bubblegum pop with elements of folk pop. It was still her and her Disney girl, sweet era. So, I think it did what it needed to do. For somebody just leaving Disney Channel, this is your first body of work. You can't be mad at it.
Well, a lot of like artists from Disney Channel always sign with Hollywood Records when they're kind of like making the jump. I think when they released music from those shows, that was probably the label that was like managing the releases and stuff. Maybe I'm lying, but here we go. Hollywood artists include Miley Cyrus, Jonas Brothers, Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez and Messine, Nick Jonas. So yeah, it is
Disney
Hollywood
Channel.
Records.
Yeah,
I'm sure that Vanessa Hudgens was with them.
It probably is a subsidiary of Disney Channel in some sort of way.
Vanessa Hudgens would say, okay, what's my girl's name? Ashley Tisdale with He Said, She Said.
Her second album, Emails I Can't Send, I don't think that really catapulted her into the limelight. I think it did well. So this time she had been signed with Universal Music Group Island Records. So again, I don't know many songs from that album.
I didn't know Sabrina Carpenter until Short and Sweet.
Same. For me, it was Espresso.
You did. You knew her from the album. What's the one before Short and Sweet?
Maybe I knew because of my sister.
Yeah, and
but
you
I
said
don't think
it was very different.
But I don't think it was. I don't think it really put her on the radar.
No, it didn't.
I think Espresso is what put her on the radar.
It did. She released Espresso as a gift
to who?
Before Coachella. for her
Oh.
Coachella performance, and that changed her career because she wasn't as big. She was just known as Joshua Bassett's ex and Olivia Rodrigo's nemesis at the time. That's how I knew her.
So when she first came out, her style was very much when she released Short and Sweet, her style was very much Madeline Monroe, very much Hollywood glam. And I think that works for her. She's like the typical all-American girl with the blonde hair, the bouncy blonde hair, the blue eyes. She's got a nice body. She's not stick thin. She's got a little bit of curve to her. I think her whole aesthetic, I think it works. Now onto the real tea. Man's Best Friend. Y'all are up in arms about this album cover. Now, for those of you that haven't seen it, it's it's Sabrina on all fours with a man tugging at her hair, lightly tugging, not too much. And it sparks so many think pieces, so many opinions, so many controversies. But I'm going to say something. I honestly don't think it's that deep. I think a lot of what she's been doing has very much been tongue in cheek. It's been cheeky. It's been over. It's been sexual. And that's the vibe that she's had. And that's the vibe that she's continued. So I don't know why we're all surprised. She's never promoted herself as a politician or as an activist. She's very much just, I'm here, I talk about girls fancying boys and the heartbreaks and the funny things that happen during relationships. And this is just, to me, this album very much is a follow-on from Short and Sweet.
Yeah, of course.
It's not anything iconic. It's just another secondary album.
Just touching on the album cover, she did say, talking to Zane Lowe on Apple Music, this is what she said. It's like so funny thinking about it now because I wanted a man playing with my hair. The 26-year-old explained to Zane Lowe. I actually used maybe 5 different men to take that photo because none of them could play with my hair. They were all pulling it. Like they were all nervous to be holding my hair. And so the grip looked like they were yanking it. Now, I don't know if I believe that to a full extent. Because
Go on.
I feel like even though she has her own separate meaning of it, the way it's been edited and the way it looks like it was intentional. Yeah, you wanted someone to play with your hair, but you wouldn't be playing with someone's hair when you're on all fours. You look like a dog. You're on all fours like a dog.
She's meant to look like a dog. It's called Man's Best Friend. But a lot of people said it was demeaning to women. They said
male gaze.
It's put feminism back 500 years.
Grow up.
But I do think that, again, it's all tongue-in-cheek. Like, the album's called Man's Best Friend, so of course she's going to be on all fours pretending to be a dog. But I also looked at in another way. Man's best friend is dog, but another word for a female dog is bitch. So instead of her to call the album bitch, she's called it Man's Best Friend. Because a lot of her songs, if you're really switched on, you'll see that, yes, she talks about how much, men are so fit and you're so you're so gorgeous, your body's so hot. But she's kind of doing it in an ironic kind of way. And for those of you that listen to her music and get her what she's trying to put out, you'd kind of get the irony in it.
It's irony. That's exactly what it is. It's all irony. And we're so...
Because you're right, she's playing up to the male gaze.
Yeah.
Of course, a man's going to look at that and think, oh my gosh, she looks so hot. But if you really look at it, it's like, yeah, I'm so hot because you as a man think all women should be on all fours. Like,
it's a message.
Yeah, it's just ironic. It's
but
funny.
Everyone
it's tongue-in-cheek.
is so fucking sensitive these days to everything. Like, I get it, but also relax, bro. It's artistry. She's not Lana Del Rey.
She's not Chappell Roan. Like, if you want somebody to be political and to talk about feminism,
then you have Chappell Roan for that. If you want to come for someone who openly loves sort of the male gaze and loves to be mollycoddle and calling people daddy, go to Lana Del Rey. That was her whole aesthetic. Even all her music, like, has always been that. Her aesthetic has always been that.
And when she was touring and she was performing, at the end of like some of her songs, she'd, again, tongue in cheek, she'd be in these poses that is suggesting she's performing sexual
The
acts.
Eiffel Tower on the Brit Awards, that caused a lot of controversy, but I thought it was bloody hilarious.
And she changed the lyrics to some of her songs depending on what country she was in. And, you know, it was a little bit saucy. So she's been doing that. So I don't know why everyone's surprised that she's continued to do that.
And it's comedy as well. It's art. It's just her artistry. She's not actually playing up to any sort of stereotype. If anything, she's bringing in awareness to it, but then also kind of bringing it back to what fun was and challenging the stereotype as opposed to just agreeing with it. She's a young girl. She's a Gen Z zillennial. Do you know what I mean? Like,
not everything everyone puts out has to be a political movement. I don't think she even I don't think she was even thinking along those lines. I think she was just trying to be like sexy. That's it.
Here we go. The whole purpose of the photo was supposed to be cheeky and airy and playful. You know, like, I got myself here. Here I am. Like, this is someone I love, but also someone that, you know, emotionally can be doing a lot with my heart and doing a lot with emotions. So I get it in that kind of aspect. But everyone, you all need to relax, bro.
And remember, sex sells. Like, that's what it all comes down to. You need to sell sex.
Sex sells. And now this is another thing she said in the Zayn Lau interview. There is a generation that gets offended by some things I do. And it's a generation that has either young children or they've raised children. And they're just sort of looking at it from a different point in their life, sort of scolding. They all had sex many times because they popped a lot of kids out. So I just think about that. And I'm always just like, it's so funny. I mean, we're just so judgmental. I'm not allowed to have sex, but you are. Sex sells. How do you think she got here? How do you think you got here? How do you think you got here? Everyone be raw dogging, bro. You know when people are always like, oh, me and my partner are trying for a baby. No, you're fucking like rabbits. You're having a lot of sex. Sex sells, unfortunately. And she uses that to her advantage. I don't think she should be shamed for it, but she's always shamed for it. But she's confident enough in herself and in her body and in her power to know that she's utilizing this in a sort of artistic way. This is her image, you know? So in reference to the album cover and her music, you all need to relax.
Yeah. I mean, let's take some of the songs from the album. I think Man-Child is the lead single. Again, it's just her typical vocals. I like that she does put her country twang onto a lot of her songs because it's quite unique. Not a lot of people can carry that off. I think vocally she's a strong-ish vocalist. Like, I think she can hold her own.
Of the road, yeah.
And then I will say, in her live performances, she's not, considering she's running up and down the stage, I think she's not doing too bad.
You can sing live.
A notable song for me was "We Almost Broke Up Again Last Night." Again, who hasn't been there? Where you're in a toxic relationship, you argue, it's like you're going to break up, and then you make up. And I just want to highlight one of the lyrics because we spoke about this earlier, about how before people would talk poetically, but nowadays we're a little bit more upfront. So in that song, she says, gave him my whole heart and I gave him head. We almost broke up. Tell me who hasn't been in that situation.
It's facts though.
Sometimes you're beefing with your man or you're beefing with your girl, and then you just look at each other, you get the urge, boom, the breakup's off, you're back together.
And that's just how candid her lyrics are. I like that they're candid. They're relatable. Obviously, if it was more shrouded in secrecy and tongue-in-cheek, we wouldn't necessarily, the average consumer wouldn't understand what she means by that.
Yeah.
You know? Again, following back to Sade, she's probably talking about giving, or someone giving
she said,
head.
I'm coming, you're making me come. As in, obviously,
it's sexually suggestive, you know? But Sabrina talks about it more openly.
A bit more explicit.
You know? And I don't think that's a problem. I just think that's his generation we're in today. Yeah. You know? One of my favourite songs, I think, is Never Getting Laid. And the lyrics, I think it's just, the lyrics are cheeky because how dare you? Like, if you were talking about me, Sabrina, like if I was your ex-man, you're saying this about me, how dare you? I hope you get agoraphobia one day. Wish you a lifetime of happiness and never getting laid. How dare you? You're rude.
Not you wishing agoraphobia on someone.
how can you be scared to leave the house? That's you're wishing someone to be scared to leave the house. That's rude, bro. But I like the tongue in cheek. I like the honesty of it. I like the playing words because we don't get that anymore.
It reminds me of a very early Taylor Swift, where she had like, you know, when Taylor Swift first came out, she was playing on the whole like country girl aesthetic. Then she had Love Story. Then she had, what was I remember the music video.
22?
No,
Red?
it's literally like the quintessential like girl next door. She's playing the girl next door, and she's living next door to her boyfriend, and they're looking at each other through the window. I can't remember the name of the song, but that was the whole theme of the music video. So it's just taking us back to that like relatable music. If you're a teenager in America, you're gonna find this so relatable. And she's not making music I don't think she's making music for Black and brown people. So I don't think we should be looking for those kind of movements from her.
No. But she did sing a cover of Freedom by Beyonce.
Love that for her. Did she sing it well? Because she needs to know her vocal limitations. I will never forget that performance. Her and Christina Aguilera. Who child?
Night and day. But I'm sure she knows that too.
I don't know who set that up. I guess they thought they were doing their big one. Oh yes, two blonde girls. Aesthetically, they look great.
Christina was in her big one vocally. My girl was. I mean, look, bless you, Sabrina Carpenter. Like, I'm not mad, but obviously I agree. Know your vocal limitations, but maybe she's just inspired by it. However, do not sing Freedom by Beyonce ever again because you have no reason singing that. That song is, it's for Black people. You're talking about oppression and all of that.
You are not a politician. Don't try and go down that lane. Stick to what you know. Stick to what you're good at. Taylor Swift,
Fuck it.
I think Taylor Swift did well. She never tried to be political, and it's worked very much in her favour. Sabrina, take note. With Gail, and Gail asked her, like, what was the message you were trying to get across from this? And you could see she didn't have an answer. And she did insult her fans. She was like, y'all need to go out and touch grass. Yeah. I think when you're giving answers and you're trying to not say anything, you need to learn how to not. Beyonce is very good at doing that.
Yeah. Media training.
You can acknowledge people's feelings and be like, oh, that wasn't my intention. It was just fun, flirty. You don't need to tell people you're too much in your feelings and to touch grass. That was a little bit insensitive.
You're going to turn your fans against you.
Yeah.
You don't really want that. But then also you need to know what you're talking about and why you've made the song. Just be honest.
I just made it to be sexy, to be controversial. That's it.
I think overall, I prefer this album to Short and Sweet. I do.
Really?
I prefer Man's Best Friend to Short and Sweet.
Interesting.
I think it's slightly more grown. I think she's honed in her character because Short and Sweet was the beginning of her character.
Yeah.
And I think once Espresso exploded, she had to quickly lock in. And then this album obviously came out. Obviously, yeah, it was in the oven for a while, but I think what I like about Man's Best Friend is she played on a character and what people know her for. She didn't wait another 5 years to release an album. She's riding on the momentum of what people know her from. She's gone from hit to hit to hit to performance to performance to performance to doing so many big things from award to award to award, and she's still riding it. Yeah, it may not be sonically different to Short and Sweet, but this is the sound. Yeah. This is the follow-up. This is the extended version. This is the sound that we know her for. I think it's even more tongue-in-cheek and more cleverly written. And I vibe with the songs more. Like, I love Tears. Like, I get wet at the thought of you. Like, Tears is a fucking dirty song. She's talking about her pussy leaking due to the politeness of a man. She loves when a man builds an IKEA desk or an IKEA chair. She loves when a man properly texts her with full stops and correctly.
But the feminists don't get it.
They don't understand it.
They don't get it.
Would you do you not want a polite man? Oh, if my man is polite, oh, absolutely. I will rip my clothes off. And she even says that in the song. Why are my clothes still on? I love it. It's very tongue-in-cheek. Obviously, Short and Sweet had a lot. It was more commercially successful, but then benefit of the doubt, this just came out and already caused controversy. But yeah, I think it's disco, it's fun, it's camp, it's gay,
very camp.
It's folk, it's country, it's pop, it's sultry, it's everything encapsulated into one. It's not too long. Everyone can enjoy it.
She's got a good variety of like songs that are like 1 minute something, couple 2-minute songs, maybe a few 3-minute songs. Yes, yeah. So I think it's a good body of work. I still like short and sweet. I think I might need to let this simmer a little bit, give it a couple more listens. But I think overall, I'm not mad at it.
Even Nobody's Son as well. Nobody's Son.
I was gonna say. You know, we always say somebody's son. Somebody's son. So it's like a play on that, like Nobody's Son.
But Somebody's Son is like Brandy and Tiwa Savage. Somebody.
No, but isn't like just even in lingo, you'd be like, like somebody's son isn't gonna make me cry. So it's like a play on that, like Nobody's son is gonna just be like that. And I think I like the ending. It's like, oh, you should have raised him better. You should have made him love me better. Yeah. So it's just, it's fun. It's not that deep.
It isn't. It's what is she? The opening lyrics of the song is, "Hi, I hope you're great. I think it's time we took a break so I can grow emotionally." That's what he said to me.
Yeah.
Barry Keegan, you're a naughty boy. And I listened to a podcast episode with Barry Keegan and Louis Theroux, and it was very interesting learning about his upbringing and stuff. He didn't talk too much about Sabrina, but he said he's dating a very lovely woman at the time. Obviously, they're no longer together. But thank you, Barry Keegan, for breaking her heart, because we wouldn't have got an album like this or lyrics like that as well. And I think these lyrics are just very relatable. But also the song has a slight reggae tinge to it. Like like that isn't, I was singing Flex, come in my bed. By Fifth Harmony. That's
Don't be shadow in your head. It's all in my head. I think Normani sounded so good on that song.
Great.
So good on that song.
She sounded good.
Her dancing. Anyway.
Well, that's another conversation. I just love the influences. And I think it's a very cohesive album as well. I very much love this album.
It's telling a story. It's like the breakup, then the almost getting back together, then moving on, finding someone new. Yeah, it's a storyteller.
And it's as she said on people.com, she's focused on emotional recovery, moving forward rather than dwelling in bitterness. I mean, she is still bitter because you're wishing agoraphobia onto your man. But also,
who hasn't wished something on their ex?
And then you still run back.
Yeah, and we still run back. We still run back. We still run back. Anyway.
But yeah, no, I know what you mean. No, I don't run back. I haven't seen anyone at the moment. But
wait, have you not run back?
I've run back a couple of times.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I don't run back anymore.
Oh, we love that growth.
What about you?
I don't run back either.
Okay.
I never run away. Just kidding.
She ain't. But yeah, it's one of those albums where it's not going to be as commercially, well, to be fair, it is doing well, but it's because she's again riding off the hype of what she already built. Is the majority of her songs already have 25 million listens, streams throughout. That's only on Spotify. I don't know Apple numbers and Amazon and stuff like that, but it's doing well. I'm sure it's gone to it went to number 1 as well in the UK. I'm sure it will go to number 1 in America, or probably already is. But then also, it's going to be one of those albums in like 5 years' time where fans are going to listen back to it and be like, wow, this was actually better than Short and Sweet. Or, oh, wow, this album was actually really, really good.
I didn't actually deep it at the time.
Exactly. The Tears video is beautiful as well. I love it. Man Child. When Man Child came out, I didn't really deep it that much. I didn't really listen to it that much because I was just like, oh, Sabrina's out again.
But you know what? I've heard it without actively going to search it. I've heard it.
I'm the same. I hear it subconsciously all the time. Good song. Yeah. I love the album. I think everyone should just relax. The cover's not that deep. The girl is healing. She's fun.
Yeah. And like you said, it's a character. We have to bear in mind that this isn't, like, we don't know Sabrina on a personal level. This is just the character that she's given us musically. I think give her next project, I think she'll give us a new character. I'm excited to see where she's going to go with this, because she could stay with this same lane, but I think she might need to switch it up for the next thing. But I think she might come back with brown hair and do something else. Yeah, put on a brown wig. But yeah, just remember it's not that deep. It's just music. Enjoy it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah.
If you guys have any thoughts on the albums that we deep dived into, please do not hesitate to share with us on all our social media platforms. We'd love to hear your thoughts on both Sade. Who does Sade mean to you? What does Sade mean to you? What does Sabrina mean to you? What do these albums mean to you? Are there any other songs or albums we should check out? Let us know.
Yeah, I'm actually quite interested to hear from you guys on the album cover. Like, I want to know different people's opinions, because I think what I think, but I actually want to understand why so many people are outraged by it. Maybe it's me that's not deep in it enough. But yeah, let us know your thoughts. And you can find us at Sync the Beat Podcast on all streaming platforms. You can find us on YouTube as well. Don't forget, you can watch the visuals. And then you can find me personally at Aratopsy everywhere.
And me at Wow.
Thank you for listening.